side.
And this is so smart by ROCCAT. They don't need to change their bans at all here because, again, Elise has been the favorite jungler for Jankos. So banning away 2 of the junglers for Shook here, and they can just then take Elise or Lee Sin, whatever is left open. Very, very smart for them to ban the same champions, and it really showed how effective it was because the Lee Sin from Shook didn't really have any impact, especially not as much impact as he wanted to have.
I wonder if they're going to ban out the Thresh here as their final ban. Alliance actually no, they're going to go for Leona, so that leaves the Thresh open for ROCCAT. Question is, do they prioritize it as first pick?
They can do it again because 2 junglers, the same ones as last game, are both open. More junglers like Nocturne could be an option. Udyr, Xing Zhao, there's so many choices here, so they can just take the Thresh away. Alliance seems to just want to put them in the situation where decide, do we take a jungler, do we take the support here? Had they locked in Elise, of course, Nyph could have picked up the Thresh.
It's interesting. They're obviously thinking, okay, let's try and do the same again, it seems here. Take away the Leona, that clearly interrupted our poke comp. And they are sticking with the same champions. ROCCAT themselves, they're going to react. Looks like it may be Jinx coming out this time. Elise was locked in once again for Jankos, though. It played so well last time around.
So same plan as you just said, without the hard engage, unless we see something different now in VandeR. You could even lock in Annie or Zona to get some engage here so you can start the fights if you want to try and do the same thing as before. Though, very standard picks from ROCCAT. We've seen the Jinx from Celaver. And ROCCAT as a team do such a good job protecting him when he's playing this Jinx, so it works out really well for him in every single team fight. Yeah,
this is a 3 that they, core 3 that they've had all the way through playoffs, except Thresh, of course, he was banned out a couple of times. But if you look back to the Gambit games, Elise both games, Jinx both games, Thresh both games. So certainly going to be comfortable with these ones. What are Alliance going to be going on to this time around? Shook, of course, playing himself that Lee Sin. Didn't really get in there a lot of the time. Kind of struggled, in my opinion, to have the control that Alliance needed of him.
And I just realized I talked about VandeR picking up Zona or Annie when he already locked in the Thresh, of course, so that was pretty stupid. Anyhow, he needs to land the hook now.
You realize your own mistake.
Yeah, I was like sitting thinking to myself, what support are they gonna pick here? Oh, never mind. Anyhow, though, on Alliance side, even more now disengage and kite with the Morgana being locked in. So still, here's the difference though between the setup from last game. Nocturne, it's a lot better engaged than Elise Sin here. It's a lot more safe engaged because you just pop your ultimate, fly into the face of the enemy. Can even get black shielded by Morgana here, so he won't even get CC'd, and he can get his fear off to a target, and then the rest of Alliance can just pile onto them.
Well, we'll see how it works out for him. We have seen Nocturne already. Cyanide played it, I believe, the other day as well. He's really been a fairly hit and miss champion so far. Has come into his own in 4.5, but hasn't seen too much usage so far. Xin Zhao was also out there as well. Lee Sin, of course, was used by Shook in the last match up. It does seem that Xaxus is going to fall back to Tron once again. He did work out well against Wickd. He didn't really have too many problems. He fell behind in CS, but overall, it seemed fine. And, well, now we see Nidalee in the hands of OverPow.
So both these teams now are actually switching around the tactic and taking the other teams, because we now got their engage on the side of Alliance here, where the engage on ROCCAT is you need to land a hook or you need to land a cocoon. Otherwise you won't start a fight. Alliance will be able to just back off every single time. So now then, with the Nocturne from their side, they can actually start the fights. Of course, top lane is going to be the same deal here. If we get the one-on-one, Renekton in the start, Trundle in the late game, Youngbuck talked about it. So we need to see how Alliance will handle this. If they want to be more aggressive early on, if they, especially with Nocturne as well, you can set up a lot of ganks. And if there's a Fizz or a TF from Froggen, he can then join in and beat his like kill squad walking around.
And I'm trying to think back to last season, how much Froggen actually played Twisted Fate. Pretty much everyone in the mid lane was playing Twisted Fate.
He even backdoored Peke.
Yeah, that's true. That did in fact happen. He's switching around there last second. In the end though, it is going to be Fizz locked in here for Alliance. Of course, he did make an appearance in their semi-final game, Game 3 against Fnatic.
Against Nidalee.
Yeah.
Against Nidalee, yeah.
It's, so when Nidalee is this popular here, there will be some counter picks. Fizz is one of them. He can deal really well with her in lane, and also the kill potential from Fizz. Always be able to jump onto Nidalee and try and set something up here. So it's a very standard counter pick to Nidalee, and let's see how Froggen can actually handle this. We need to remember again, with Nocturne at level 6, he can join in with him. They can set up some very deadly ganks in the mid lane, where it's very hard for Jankos to actually come in and counter gank it because there's no vision.
We'll see how this one works out. Last time Alliance, of course, picked a similar team comp. It didn't work out for them, but they have some differences. The Black Shield up against the Thresh Chuck. VandeR on his key champion. Celaver falling back to that Jinx. This all worked very well for them against SK.
Yeah, and it's such a good setup because, yeah, Jinx, you don't have any jumps, but now you got the Lantern from Thresh here. You got the help from him to actually stand there and hit the turrets and get out, or in general just in the laning phase to avoid the ganks here. You can take the Lantern, get to safety. So it's a very good combination between these two champions.
We saw that 1-3-1 split push the entire time from them, and it was that 3-champion kill squad as well for ROCCAT. You know, land the hook, throw the chompers down, and then the cocoon comes in afterwards with the box if you really need it by then. You can't get away from it, you can't move.
No, it's such a strong combination between these champions because, again, pull them into the chompers, and from there on and out, you're just going to be CC'd for such a long time. If Jankos, it's impossible to miss a cocoon then if the Tiger's been locked for such a long time.
We'll see if he can be that strong again this time around.
I mean, they're falling back to what worked for them, what got them at the top of the table early on in the season, that 1-3-1 split. You're going to have, like you say, Xaxus on his own, Nidalee probably be on his own, while the rest of the team continue to just push in there. But of course, now they've got the added advantage that OverPow on Nidalee could join the rest of the team as and when he needs to.
Yeah, so that's actually also the issue for ROCCAT, because Fizz in late game, there's very few champions in the game who can actually deal with him 1v1 in a split push. So we can see Wickd in the start trying to shut down Xaxus, and then later on, whenever Xaxus becomes too strong, they can swap it around so Froggen goes up there and he will be able to duel Xaxus, especially because he should be building for armor early on to deal with Wickd. It means less MR, easier for Froggen to go up and kill him, and then Froggen and Alliance will actually win the split push. And then, of course, with a Nocturne who can join in around the lanes here so quickly. So very scary split push combination here from Alliance, and then a split push comp, of course. And they can actually go 1-3-1 as long as they do well in the early game.
Well, we're going to find out here into game number 2. ROCCAT 1-0 up. Don't forget, this one is a best of 3 to decide the third place game. So ROCCAT only needed now the one more. Alliance need 2 in a row, but they've done it before, let's not forget, already in the quarterfinal of playoffs, where they lost the first game to the Copenhagen Wolves and then came out to win 2 in a row. Let's see if Alliance, or ROCCAT for that matter, go for anything interesting here at level 1. We can see that 3 men are on the bottom side of the map for Alliance, Fizz and Renekton on the top side. Both VandeR and Celaver actually headed up towards the blue here, so looks like we're going to be seeing a swap.
So swapping around here, very, very smart, because again, Trundle is weaker in the start. Get him in the lane swap now, get him some levels, and then he can join up later on against Wickd.
Xaxus going to face check in on towards Wickd. Wickd will put some damage down. The rest of ROCCAT will join him. And this is a late invade onto that red. And the Alliance doing exactly the same. They're going to see Jankos down there. So the jungler out of position. Is going to be a red buff stolen away. Shook is with the jungler this time. He's going to be the man. He's with the jungler. He's with himself is what he is. Taking away that red buff. The red buff will be stolen away. That means Jankos is actually only going to get 1 buff.
Well, no, because Jankos is moving towards the red buff up here.
Yeah, they backed on it.
Which, of course, Wickd needs to back away. It means, however, though, he's going to be delayed because Shook is already moving for his blue buff. Jankos didn't even get the first buff yet.
Wickd showing himself here, actually not going to get involved. This is potentially a 4-man stack in the top wave. And at the moment, I think that's where Wicked's going. He's heading on down south. I think they're thinking we need to do the same thing here.
They've got to, surely. I mean, if they start to push in their ROCCAT have been the team that, for me, have hesitated more than any other team when it comes to these swaps and fast pushes. We can actually see, though, that ROCCAT have just VandeR and Celaver on the top side, and the rest of them seem to have moved around to middle. As we get a little pause, seems to be a problem with VandeR.
So what the Alliance is doing here is actually moving Wickd all the way down to the bottom lane so it can do this 4-man push, because Shook is moving from the blue buff as well. Obviously, it's a little bit delayed because Wickd needs to move all the way from top, but he's going to join in there. And if Xaxus doesn't do the same thing, then the tower push is, of course, in favor of Alliance, because also with the bottom lane turret taking more damage than the top lane turret.
Well, at the moment, of course, they didn't have vision. We are just having a client restart for VandeR. You hear the noise of him reconnecting. They're just waiting for the admins to give the all clear. Both teams, of course, need to be ready to unpause and make sure they can get the game back underway, which is exactly what they're doing right now. VandeR has played some magnificent Thresh throughout this season. We'll be able to see if he can land hook after hook, of course. He did get himself some of those LCS big plays. We saw them at the start of the show. If you missed them, well, tough simply. You should have been there.
To be fair, he got like 3 or 4 LCS big plays
all in
one go. So he did, that's how well he did with the Thresh.
Well, just go rewatch the game. Like, every single time he had the chance to land the hook, he did. And set up kills for ROCCAT. That's also one of the reasons they won. And if you can do the same here, combine that with Elise, with, of course, Jinx, as we talked about, staying with him, kill after kill after kill.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting back into the game. Game 2, ROCCAT versus Alliance. ROCCAT pushing the top turret, and Alliance, they kind of need to be doing the same. They were holding the lane for a while, though. They're not pushing too hard.
So Jankos, because he was so delayed, he's actually moving towards his blue buffs. He won't be able to join up here at the same time as Shook. Shook is down the bottom lane, 4 members. Alliance are going to win this lane swap so hard. They can just push so fast now.
That bottom turret, of course, weaker in the early stages up until 8 minutes, and that is going to be a first one going over towards Alliance. The question is now, how fast can ROCCAT push back on the other side of the map, and how far are Alliance going to try and go for this one? It is now 4 in the top lane for ROCCAT, so 4 men in the top, 4 men in the bottom. Mid lane, Froggen is actually going aggressive onto OverPow as well.
So one thing we need to remember, though, is that Jinx is very strong at pushing turrets. Elise is very strong at pushing turrets here. So in that case, ROCCAT can actually try and catch up here. But they are already recalling in the top lane with Xaxus. So he's going to go down here to the bottom lane to make sure they don't lose 3 turrets.
We'll see if that's what the case is. There's going to be the second one of the game, and you can see ROCCAT have only just started on that inner turret. They don't have enough minions in this wave to take you down this time around. Meanwhile, 4 members of Alliance come in there. Xaxus has got to be careful. He's only level 2. There is 4 members of Alliance very close by. Jankos joins them, so 2 members go defensive, and Alliance do step away from the turret.
That leaves them 4 versus 2, obviously taking some damage in there. Celaver and VandeR still trying their best to get this one on through. It's at less than half HP. Actual recoil is coming in now from Wickd, so he's going to be the one that heads straight out onto this top lane. But will it be too late to save this second tier turret? I believe it will be. That one's going to go down with this minion wave.
Yeah, so ROCCAT will get this turret down here. Just trading turret for turret. Could have been a lot worse, but whoa, Shook gone very aggressive onto Jankos.
Diving towards him, gets a lot of damage down on towards him. That feeling's been enough. If Froggen can get close enough, they may well get the execute on towards him. Gets the heal off, though, from OverPow, and that does push him, bully him out of that jungle. He comes back in. Froggen goes deep. There's first blood. Flash for it with the ignite. Not sure if the flash was needed, but he just piled back in. Why did Jankos go back to that push?
I've absolutely no idea why Jankos went back. Froggen, he went moved from the mid lane long ago. They would have known he was there. He's giving up double buff to Fizz early game. It couldn't be more perfect for Alliance.
And I think just wanted to get his ward down there inside of the brush, but they pounced before they could really do anything. As Froggen actually going to get exhausted here. That's some good damage back from OverPow. But that summoner spell's been burnt left, right, and center in that mid lane. Only the flash left for OverPow. In the top, the turret did, of course, go down, and Wickd has now gone up there to have himself this minion wave away. If we look at the CS, actually, between those solo lanes, 18 to 6 CS. For Xaxus over Wickd.
We're seeing whether Froggen, I was wondering whether Nyph was actually going to go piling in there. Had got flash available, could have gone to OverPow there. Hasn't got his Cougar form just yet, so wouldn't have been able to pounce away, would have forced that flash away from him. As it is, Nyph, he's going to rotate on down towards the bottom. Tabzz had stuck around the entirety of that bottom lane. They're actually very even in farm. We are going to see Celaver probably heading that one because he's already in the wave, whereas it is a very similar build towards him. But look at this. Shook already got the Feral Flare 6 minutes in the game.
Very early wriggles
not the
for him, yeah.
The wriggles.
Of course, needs to stack it off, but still. Getting this early attack speed, attack damage here, so his jungle clear is going to be very, very fast, and he's going to be able to farm up towards the Feral Flare in no time here. So very, very strong start everywhere around here for Alliance.
ROCCAT are pushing this bottom turret out though. Shook, in fact, will be coming across, will take the white on his way down to that lane. And now ROCCAT actually backing off. And look at this, mid lane is going to be coming down. Jungler is there as well. This is going to be a 6 minute 50 dragon attempt for ROCCAT.
Risky play. They're all caught in towards that pit. Can Alliance react quick enough? Froggen's a long way away from this one. They've only taken half the damage off the dragon so far. Remember, nobody really has ultimates on this one. ROCCAT will secure themselves the first dragon of the game in 7 minutes.
And a very, very smart move because Wickd is freezing the top lane here, so they knew he would never be able to join in. Again, decided to bring the exhaust, so no teleport for him. It was actually one thing Youngbuck pointed out here after the game, that Wickd should be playing a champion with a teleport so he can provide some more map pressure and also do a better job late game in the split push. But that's of course where Alliance this time around are saying, Wickd is not going to be split pushing late, at least not fighting anyone. We're going to have Froggen do it instead.
Interesting if Wickd actually changes his build this time around as well. Froggen actually is already putting down some damage onto that middle turret. OverPow went back to collect up his Fiendish Codex and that Chalice as well. Just going to give him a bit more spam ability in that mid lane. On the other side, Sheen already picked up there for Froggen as well, which that first blood certainly will have helped towards.
Yeah, we need to see how Froggen decides to build here, because with the Lich Bane nerfs, of course, the AP ratio has gone down 0.25. And also it scales now from your AD. So you need a few levels before it really does the same thing as the old Lich Bane with the AD base thing. I believe it's like 67 AD you need to do the same as the old Lich Bane. So we need to see if he decides to go straight for it. Actually, they're going very aggressive.
Straight in, double ultimates used, OverPow on towards the tower, but he's going to go down, the Ignite being run. It will be enough, but now Froggen's in trouble. You can see VandeR coming around there. Jankos will sink his teeth in. Froggen flashes away. Will VandeR land one of those legendary hooks? He doesn't need to. The flay was enough, and then Celaver comes in for cleanup duty.
This should mean the turret as well. Only Nyph is there to try to defend. Both side lanes are getting pushed by Alliance though, but there's a long way for them down to the turrets of ROCCAT.
Very, very well done there by ROCCAT, turning out that kill, or turning around that kill, and getting themselves 2 in the end. And we thought that VandeR was going to throw out the hook, actually just got in range of the flay for a bit more safer CC on that side of things. And that'll be 3-2 in turrets, with the first dragon going to ROCCAT, and we are now tied in kills here as well. Obviously, that bomb lane just pushing out a bit far there. OverPow just coming out of the base and realizes that he has to get in there and clear that one out. Xaxus will also get back into the top lane. And remember back what I was saying, that Xaxus had a very early CS lead over Wickd. That has completely flipped now. It's almost double the lead for Wickd after he spent all that time freezing out the lane.
Yeah, exactly. He was freezing the lane. It meant Xaxus moved with his team instead, got the mid turret, got the dragon of course, so got more for the team. But Wickd is ahead in gold and seems to be building the Cutlass again, so he will go for the same kind of build where he's going to be strong in the 1v1s, at least up to the 30-35 minute mark. So same kind of idea with the split pushing. And Froggen, a bit like we were about to talk about before the whole engage happened, with completing the Lich Bane as first item is actually very rare now, so it seems like you want to go for something else and then go Lich Bane later on.
Yeah, and because of the global objectives gained by ROCCAT, Xaxus is actually ahead in gold. We just saw him heading past there, despite the fact he was behind in CS. Of course, he's getting himself a giant minion wave now, but he's got that assist, he's got them 3 towers, and of course the dragon. It is keeping him in there, so despite Wickd doing all the hard work, keeping that lane frozen, tanking those minions, and a ward goes down, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's almost tribute to Gambit and Copenhagen Wolves yesterday. If anyone was involved in that match, they will be well aware of that situation. This bottom lane, Alliance are sticking to it. They continue farming down, and Tabzz has been very, very deep on it, farming out for a long period of time, and which is why you see Nyph. He's trying to get some vision control, which is why we're seeing these wards being beaten over. Tabzz is a little bit out of position here.
He needs to be very, very careful here. One cocoon from Jankos. There we go.
Wow, flash in there. Super Mega Death Rocket comes around as well. Here comes VandeR. Can he land the hook? Will he need to land the hook? Flash is available for Tabzz. There is a repel. He's used the flash. VandeR flashes. The hook misses, but the spear comes around. Another cocoon lands, and Tabzz will go down. OverPow gifted the kill.
So Tabzz here was so far up in the lane. That's why Nyph was warding in the jungle here to try and spot ROCCAT from ganking him. But they were already down there. They were already going towards him. And Alliance not able to push anything else because the top lane was pushed all the way into their area. So it meant that Xaxus could just go to the mid lane and defend when Froggen tried to push the turret.
And that gave 3 assists and a kill across the ROCCAT, despite the fact he dodged so well on all those skill shots. When there's that many all coming in towards you, there's only so many you can get out the way of. Bottom turret is now the focus for ROCCAT. It is the weaker of the turrets, and of course that almost certainly will be where Celaver wants to get that minigun railing off towards. But as it is, we're seeing Froggen heading up towards Xaxus in the top lane.
Xaxus, he's full HP, ultimate is ready, so this dive could be a little bit risky, but they should have enough damage.
He's gonna go putting that ultimate down, and Well, enough damage, not really positively true on that one. Wickd took far too much damage from the turret. Yes, Subjugate, you could argue, a little bit wasted in that scenario, but he stayed safe and didn't give any more kills over. And now they may try and turn things around here. They're going to go in for Froggen. The Fish is going to knock Jankos in the air, but Xaxus keeps going. Don't forget, there's no turret in there, and he just dodges out with a playful trickster away from that cocoon, but OverPow comes in as well, and there is VandeR. Froggen is trying to lead them on the wild goose chase. Wait for the hook. Goes wide though, and Froggen is still running. Super Mega Death Rocket, as it's been doing all week from Celaver, coming in slightly too late, but they're going to go for Celaver now. He's going to get leashed up, exhaust onto him as well, under the turret, finds himself safe, turns around, Shook's got no mana left, they're going to keep going. The spear flashes by, can Celaver chase him down? There's no one on this bottom side of the map for ROCCAT. The zap doesn't quite connect, they don't have vision of him here, but OverPow's going to come jumping over the wall, spots Shook. Is he going to go out to the spear here? No, he's going to keep chasing in. Pounces in. Here comes Tabzz as well. Tabzz gets exhausted, and OverPow will walk away, taking no damage.
And again here, ROCCAT is just roaming with multiple members around the entire map. Dragon is now the target. Alliance won't be able to contest this one. So ROCCAT, simply because Alliance is not able to push anywhere. I mean, yes, Tabzz, he's pushing down the bottom lane, but there's no turrets for him all before he gets all the way down to the base. So it's so easy for ROCCAT to just say, we can roam away from here. 4 members. It was VandeR who walked from bot lane all the way up to top lane to help them kill Froggen up there. And there's no response from Alliance. They're not pushing anywhere. They can't push anywhere.
Yeah, they just are left floundering right now at the moment. ROCCAT have the rotations, have the skills, the ability to keep chasing, keep hounding any member around there. And the moment Alliance tries to create a play, ROCCAT are there to react, but they're there in numbers. They are there in 4, 5 players, all pushing in there. And we saw Celaver got caught out. It was actually Xaxus they were diving on the top lane, and both of them got countered and picked up a kill for ROCCAT. So fantastic stuff. They now 5-2 up, and they have that turret advantage as well as a gold advantage. It's only 1,000 gold advantage though, despite what has happened, and ROCCAT seemingly in full charge so far.
Yeah, it might only be 1,000 gold now, but remember, Nidalee is on the side of ROCCAT here. Once you fall behind to a Nidalee, I know she can be weak if you're behind yourself, but once you fall behind to her, it's just the same deal. Push up to your turrets and just land spear after spear after spear. So it could be a big issue for Alliance if OverPow gets up here and really starts landing the spears early on.
Well, that's what we're going to see here possibly now as that minion wave does start to move in. OverPow hanging around over on the side, and that push going to be coming up now on towards the turret. Once these minions are gone, Froggen might need to just back away from things. There was the first spear, just dodged by Froggen. That turret going to be shredded to pieces. Shook is there, but honestly, he can't do anything about that one. That's another turret here for ROCCAT.
And you know, something we really haven't touched on is the fact that Alliance are pretty much all melee apart from Tabzz. Tabzz is the only man that can keep that wave at bay. If Froggen wants to try and clear the wave, he's going to jump straight in towards ROCCAT. ROCCAT can siege it away, and the fact they've already got this advantage, they're already making use of that power. You can see they're all rotating now down towards that bottom lane. It's going to be another turret. This will be the 5th of the game for ROCCAT.
And a bit like the last game where it was the same deal. You had Tabzz as the wave clear, and then the rest of the team, they could try and help out, but they can never really fully clear wave as fast as you need to do if multiple members are pushing up towards you. So it means now, them being behind, there's the first spear we talked about, and now ROCCAT can just stay here, keep trying to land spears.
Yeah, they're going to use the Culling just to clear the wave. It will only be a matter of time though. Celaver wasn't even with the team. He's going to rotate around. The next minion wave is going to conga line its way up there, and I just don't think they can keep ROCCAT at bay.
They've got 2 dangers here, not just the spears coming through, but if a hook lands as well onto someone at the backside, ROCCAT can get in there with Xaxus tanking stuff up. In the end, we see Alliance just can't hang on to it. That's another turret going down, and all of a sudden, 16 minutes into this game, Alliance finds 6 towers have gone down. They've only got their base remaining.
And we have seen so much roaming around from ROCCAT. You normally never see it so early in the game because you want to sit in your lane, you want to get XP, you want to get the gold or get the first few items. Instead, ROCCAT were like, you know, we're just going to take 4 members, go bot lane, kill Tabzz. Then we're going to take 4 members, go top lane, and kill Froggen, and extend our lead, get the first few turrets, and now just continue to siege up. Let's see if they want to keep pushing up towards the lane, because remember, they need to go all the way into the base of Alliance now, so there's a big area here where Alliance can chase them if they get a good fight onto them, or they want to try and set up some picks, maybe even set up an early Baron here with the Trundle, with Elise and with Jinx.
At the moment they are doing everything, playing by the numbers. The only 2 towers they lost was that early split push from Alliance, or fast push, or I don't even know what word you want to use for it. Basically, they just piled on down that bottom lane with 4 members. I'm sure there is a word out there that everybody likes to use, but at the moment, it's just simply taking towers down.
Taking the towers down the lane top. And actually, because they recalled up in top here, they got down and only traded 2 turrets for 2 turrets. Yes, there was a few hits from Alliance onto that tower, and Wickd got a lot of farm once he got back up in the lane. But simply then, ROCCAT said, we don't care about Wickd free farming top or freezing the top lane. We just take objectives, take the dragon. And as you mentioned yourself earlier, once Xaxus came up there and took a wave, so he was actually ahead in gold.
And I want to talk about this, the fact that Wickd was freezing that lane, because I remember this came up quite a lot during the World Finals. You know, the European teams were doing it. I distinctly remember Gambit doing it. Edward and Genja were freezing the lane. It was Voidal, sorry, and Genja that were freezing that bottom lane. It wasn't Voidal, was it? They changed him just before World.
No, it was Voidal.
It was Voidal. I'm trying to cast my mind back.
It was Darker first.
But the difference was, what I wanted to get down to is if this gank goes off, actually. Let's just wait for this gank first. They're going to run towards Xaxus. Xaxus is tanky, though, and you can see Shook. He's taking all the damage. OverPow pounces on towards him. Now Froggen's in trouble. He's going to have Plateful Trickster away from this one, but he's going to get chased on him. Pounced on. OverPow Goon, all of the damage trying to chase on towards him. He's going to try and turn it back around, but there's just not enough damage, and that was another double kill picked up. They went for the tankiest member. It was an easy target. So, it's going to be a Baron started off here by ROCCAT. Back to my point. Why did Wickd not push that lane? Why did he choose to not pressure that top turret? Because he didn't apply pressure. ROCCAT were allowed to just push all of the other objectives around the map. They just ganged up, they got the dragon, they got the mid turret, all because he was just sat in that top lane.
So first of all, he didn't bring a teleport, which means as soon as, even if he fast pushes the lane up here, it's actually going very aggressive onto Celaver.
Flashing in there for that one, but he takes a lantern into the Baron pit. Nyph gonna try and steal, but it's ROCCAT that get the Baron, and now they turn around on towards Wickd. The box is down. VandeR gonna get exhausted, but Wickd with only the Blade of the Rune King can't get away. OverPow will pick off Nyph as well, and that's 2 men down for 25 to 30 seconds. They can push here towards the inhibs.
Okay, trying to go again. Back to the point though. No, Evan, skip it for now. ROCCAT setting up the early Baron after they got 2 kills up in the top lane here. Alliance had to try and stop it. Couldn't do anything. And the hook came in.
Oh, there's one of those hooks. Make yourself a highlight reel, because VandeR has been living it the whole spring split season long. 10-2 in kills. First inhibitor going down. We're not even in the 20-minute mark, ladies and gentlemen. Alliance can't even surrender if they wanted to, because those inhibitors are falling, and ROCCAT are in complete control over Alliance here.
Froggen needs to be careful. He's way behind the enemy lines.
Yeah, he's going to get chased here for quite a while, and dodging the spear is something that he can do pretty well. Just juking off to the side. This is going to be a cat and mouse as he actually throws the ulti down there. Lantern is going to be thrown in as the Flay comes down as well. The hook, point blank, he's hit a lot harder ones, that's for sure. The playoffs as Froggen. Oh, no! And he fails to jump over the wall. Meanwhile, Shook trying to recall in the enemy jungle. I'm afraid for him that he's not going to be able to get away. Cocoon will land. Xaxus will come around and wait for that pillar to come in. Shook doesn't really care right now. The subjugate actually going down. The pillar comes in the end. Jankos just stopped to have a bit of a chat with his teammates, I think, there along the way. And that fear isn't going to proc off before the kill comes in. However, OverPow is Nidalee, and he walks away as Nidalee does.
Yep. A lot of chasing around.
Oh, the chat. They were saying, let me escape, please, please. Xaxus is like, nope, you banned my Jax. I'm not letting you escape this one. Straightforward. ROCCAT playing this one out for the win. Of course, it would take them 2-0 and make them finish 3rd place, which is a fantastic showing for a team that only just got promoted, of course, during the spring promotion tournament.
And a team that through the entire season, I mean, they started out so well. Everyone was talking about, whoa, this new Polish team coming in here, they're so strong. The teamwork, like the new picks they brought also to the table. They were one of the first teams to play Pantheon jungle, for instance. The Mordekai's a mid for OverPow. So from the start, they really showed what a strong team they were. They had some issues during the season where teams started to adapt to the tactics, ban out some key things, but they've really come back strong.
I like that they're not scared of experimenting. I mean, OverPow brought out a Carly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, that just shows you that they are not scared to go for something that they think's right and may not quite be the norm at this stage. I see that Wickd, he is pretty far behind at this stage. Blade of the Rune King went in there first, all well and good, but we saw there at the Baron that he can't survive, and there's a spear onto Tabzz.
Talking about normal, we have a Wit's End onto Jankos on Elise here, so...
Pretty normal.
Yeah, very normal.
Wow. Heavy hit after heavy hit, I think, is the explanation for that one. There's Chum the Waters being used out. Froggen trying to escape, but he's got the damage. Jankos manages to finish him off with the last little tick of poison.
All due to the Wicked end, of course.
Could possibly be. They're going to go for another in-him turret here. They're actually trying to fight off the super minions, our alliance here, that are pushing up inside of their base. They're going to lose this in-him turret, though. That Baron buff is still on. And look at Tabzz. He's chomping down on the top side of the map as well. This could very well be 3 inhibitors going down. ROCCAT so far ahead at this stage in the game.
23 minutes gone in this game, and it looks to be all over for Alliance. It's been a fantastic season for them. They were a new season, the new team at the start of the season, of course, having exchanged from the Evil Geniuses into the Alliance, and of course changing 3 members on the way. They have tried to perform as best of their ability. They're trying to defend out this turret, but it's going to be all too easy. Celaver gets excited and starts running around, zapping everyone in his wake. That speed boost it gives you. It's the game for ROCCAT, ladies and gentlemen. They will take 3rd place in the spring split.
Very, very well played by ROCCAT in both games, actually. In the end, you know, they really just dominated Alliance.
Not even close, I think we can say. Game 2, 17-2, it finished in kills. There was a 16,000 gold lead, 11-2 in turrets. Let's put that into perspective here. That's 2 turrets that Alliance got within the first few minutes after they went for those 4-man pushes down the bottom, and ROCCAT pushing in the top side.
Yeah, and as soon as they swapped around with Wickd, going up to top lane, going back to your point here. First of all, when you don't bring the teleport onto the Renekton and he goes up to top lane, it's obviously a very free dragon for ROCCAT. And nothing Alliance could do to stop it with 5 members from ROCCAT. At the same time, as you just pointed out yourself, if he had fast pushed the lane, he would have denied a lot of CS from Xaxus, at least forced Xaxus to think, should I stay and do this dragon, or do I have to go up to top lane instantly now? I'm going to lose all this CS here. He could have tried to deny him some of this CS, forced him away from the team, so Alliance with the 4 members could have gone in, possibly even trying to stop the dragon, because he didn't, because he was so slow, froze it all the way. Yes, he got a big CS lead, he got some